I'm Holden Douglas.
And I'm Caleb Rappaport.
And we are here in the streets of LA outside the best pizza place in the entire city, Emmy Squared Pizza.
That's right. In the center of LA Live on Figueroa, just across the street from the Crypto.com arena, which is right over there, a few yards away.
Man, many Kings fans come here to get their pregame meal. And tell me, as a super fan, tell me about this place.
This place has a lot of great choices. We have the menu right here. Should I read the menu? No, that's too early for that. But there's a lot of great choices. And they don't do just pizza. They do burgers and then pastas and fries and salads. And there's a happy hour deal, $5 draft beer from 4:30 to 7 p.m. every day at Emmy Squared Pizza.
So before you go to a hockey game, make sure you come here first to get some delicious pizza.
Yes, and that's an order. All right, well, what are we here for tonight, Holden?
We're here for the Kings, and they're going up against the Blackhawks.
Right? Didn't we just play the Blackhawks?
Yes, and Chicago came away with the victory. But LA, they're looking to get their revenge.
Right. Thursday night, in a rare back-to-back with a day break in between. The Kings played the Blackhawks Thursday night. They lost 2-1 in a real low-scoring event. And that's kind of the norm for the Kings lately, isn't it?
Yeah, they really came up slow the first 40 minutes, and then they showed some life in the third period, but it was just way too late. Tell me, what do you think is the key for the Kings to win this game against the Blackhawks?
Score 4 goals. Yes. Darcy Kemper has not allowed more than 3 goals, maybe once or twice this season. So if the Kings can score a lot of goals, they should come away with the victory. But if they stick to the norm, which has been 1-2 goals, it's going to be tough sledding. Mostly, go ahead.
I mean, that's a lot easier said than done. As we've seen from this offense, they don't get in front of the net. They don't do much in the power play, and they just pass up shots. Like, how can this offense get better?
They need to go to the hard areas. The hard areas are the blue paint. The Kings need to go to the crease with the puck. They put it in their teeth and just dive for the net. Basically, if the puck is close to the goal line, it should go in. Otherwise, they're just shooting from the outside, and any NHL caliber goaltender is going to see that. They're going to stop that puck. So the Kings need to get in the dirty areas and get some greasy goals. They're called greasy goals because they go in from the greasy, hard areas.
Along with the offense, I mean, the biggest elephant in the room is how badly the Kings have struggled with the power play. They had 5 power play opportunities, and they didn't score a single goal.
And it's the norm lately. The Kings power play, going back a few years, has been really, really inept. And it's not like they don't have skilled players on the power play, but their system is definitely a problem. The Kings just can't get it done with the man advantage.
Yeah, I mean, like, you have guys like goal scorers, like you have Kevin Fiala, you have Brant Clark, a lot of guys who are going to go out. They'll take some shots, of course, Adrian Kempe, but they're using him so far from the net where he should be getting in the tip-ins.
Yeah, Kempe should be down on the half wall with that shot, not at the point. A lot of noise going on here. We have choppers. Oh, and the pizza show.
Oh, and the pizza showed. Remember, if you like pizza, Emmy Squared Pizza, that's the place to go to.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. This is great.
Man, look at how beautifully delicious this pizza is.
There's the margarita. There's the pepperoni and the jalapeno. There's the Max pepperoni.
Man, if you want a place that can out-pizza the Hut, Emmy Squared Pizza. This is the place.
Look at this. Can you get that? Is that in the shot? That looks pretty good.
Man, 10 out of 10, just based off visual.
All right. So, anyway, we are here at Emmy Squared Pizza at LA Live, where there's happy hour. You can get $5 draft beers.
But let's talk about the Kings season.
You don't want to talk about $5 draft beers? Everybody wants to talk about $5.
As much as I'd like to talk about happy hour, $5 happy hour, that is, we got to get into some Kings hockey.
Well, we're talking about the power play or lack thereof.
Yeah, but so far this season, let's get into a positive note. What have you actually liked from the Kings so far this season?
Well, I've liked Darcy Kemper.
Of course.
Darcy Kemper has been a top goalie for the Kings the last year and a half since he started last year when he came back in that Pierre-Luc Dubois trade that somehow we got rid of Pierre-Luc Dubois and flipped him for Darcy Kemper, who is making his second stint with the Kings. He was here in 2019, 2020.
Yeah, before his Colorado Stanley Cup.
Before he went to Colorado and and won a Stanley Cup, and then signed a nice contract with the Washington Capitals. And then the Washington Capitals dealt him here for Pierre-Luc Dubois. And he's been great. He is a top goal. He was only the second to the MVP of the league last year, Connor Hellebuck. Darcy Kemper was right behind him in goals against and save percentage. So, the only bright spot for the Kings this year has been Darcy Kemper. He's keeping them in every game, and what more can you ask for? Except run support, which the Kings are not giving him. If they give him some goals, he should get some wins.
I mean, Darcy Kemper has been the anchor for this team. As we've seen very early in games, the Kings, they usually come out sluggish first period, and we just see a slow team. They can't keep up with the speed, like with Colorado, like with Chicago. So having Darcy Kemper just being a rock-solid goalie has really saved the Kings so far this season. It's kept them in third place in the Pacific so far.
Yeah, the Kings are up near the top of the Pacific. But as we said, the other night at the end of the game, the Kings are as close to the top of the Pacific Division as they are to the being out of the playoffs in the top 8 in the West. So the Kings really need to stay with the Ducks and the Vegas Golden Knights.
So far, the Vegas Golden Knights, they're a Stanley Cup contender, but as most people would say, they are the most talented team in the Pacific. So the Kings, at their absolute ceiling, I think they do have the potential to be the second best team in the Pacific after Vegas. But how are the Kings going to live up to their potential? What do they need to get better at?
Well, they need to put the puck in the net. That is the bottom line. The King, you win games by scoring goals, not by having the best goaltender. Because there are teams ahead of the Kings with weaker goaltending, but they're there because they're scoring goals.
Exactly. Like look at Carolina, for instance. One of the most dynamic firepower teams in the entire league. Their power play isn't very good, just like the Kings, and they don't really have the goaltenders. But because their offense is so good,
they don't need it.
Like the Hurricanes are considered one of the best teams in the Metro and the entire East.
Yeah, they're favored, maybe favored out to come out of the East by most of the experts and most of the pundits and the puck punditry, whatever they all have been calling for that. The finals probably going to be Carolina versus the Colorado Avalanche
or Dallas,
right? Or Dallas, but the Colorado Avalanche are probably the most dangerous team in the league. They've only lost their second game in regulation the other night, and we're in December 5th. So
how can the Kings get to the level of like the Avalanche, of the Stars, and the other top teams in the West?
Score 4 goals a game. Give me 4 goals a game, and the Kings are winning 4 out of 5, 6 out of 8 hockey games, and they're on a run, and they're picking up points, and they're leading the league, leading their division, leading the conference. So they need to just score more goals.
So which players are you looking forward to in terms of stepping up?
4 or more. 4 or more goals, and the Kings are going to win just about every game they're in.
So tell me, which players are you looking to step up? Phillip Deneau, Quinn Byfield? Let me hear your thoughts.
Well, as we know, Phil Deneau is goalless. Started the year as the Kings' third-line center. First time he's moved into that role because Quentin Byfield has come along so well and become the second-line center behind Andrei Kopitar. So it is a demotion for Phil, but he needs to, pull his weight and make some things happen. And right now, he's over. He doesn't have a goal this year, not even an empty netter. He doesn't have a goal. So we need guys like Phil to step up. There's another thing, like last year, Warren Foegele was probably the most valuable player on the team, coming up big moments all season long. This year, really slow start. Then he's been injured off and on. It's not looking like a typical Warren Foegele season. So
Foegele can really help with the speed of the Kings because Quentin Byfield's obviously the fastest player on the team. But outside of Byfield, there isn't that much speed with the Kings. And Foegele could really help in that department.
Well, we do have Adrian Kempe, who's no slug. And,
he's no slug, but he's not as fast as he once was.
Also, Kevin Fiala. These are highly skilled, highly, paced play. They can play at a high pace, and they can put the puck in the net, and they can also be playmakers. You know what? I'm thinking the problem with the Kings, they might have too many playmakers and not enough finishers. So guys who can set up plays but not finish, and the Kings have to start finishing to stay in these games because it's gonna be only a matter of time right now before the Kings lose 3 or 4 in a row, and they're outside looking in.
I mean, like Corey Perry, he was a spark for this Kings offense. We saw him have a crazy stretch of a lot of goals, and he really was at one point one of the best goal scorers of the entire team.
Right. He came out of he started the season. He had a knee injury, he had a little surgery, a little scope, and then he sat out the first few 3-4 weeks of the season, and then he came in and boom, started rolling. Got 6 goals in 5 games and putting up the points. And for some reason, his minutes have gone down, and I don't know what kind of decision that is on the coaching standpoint. But he is a fourth liner, not really making a difference. He's a front of the net guy where the Kings really need to score and where they need to be to score. And they're not. I don't think they're utilizing Corey Perry like they should be.
No, as we saw, when Corey Perry, when he gets the chances, he can be really effective. But I mean, as we've seen, there is a little bit of controversy within the coaching staff of the Kings.
Right.
What do you think? What do you think's happening there?
Well, there's rumors swirling all around. In fact, a big rumor on Twitter or X the other day that the Kings were looking and talking to Pete DeBoer, who is the number 1 non-working coach right now, who's getting a lot of attention. Probably the highest sought-after coach that's on the market to start with a new team. And someone put out that the Kings were talking to him, and there's been a lot of denial within the Kings front office and around the Kings that that's happening. But who's ever going to say that that's happening when you already have a coach in place and a team that's knows as soon as you start talking about a new coach, it can really create problems in the dressing room. So there's always going to be a denial that a team is talking to another coach while they still have a coach. So we don't know what's happening there, but they're talking because the Kings are not scoring and they're not winning games. There's only been 1 or 2 games this season where they've won handily. Everything else is a 1-goal game. It's not.
It's been a roller coaster of emotions every single game.
Yeah, it's just they're tight games, and some of them shouldn't be, because the Kings do have, on paper, a lot of good players who can put the puck in the net, and they have a solid defense and a great goaltender, but we're here, we're stuck.
So where do you think the Kings match up against the other teams in the Pacific? How do you compare them against the Kraken? How do you compare them against the Sharks, the Oilers? Let me hear your thoughts on that, because they're all the 3 to 6 range, middle of the pack of the Pacific.
Well, we've only played a few of those teams, and some of them we haven't played yet. So it's hard to put them up against each other. I think the Kings are obviously a top road team, and they need to go back on the road as soon as possible, because at home their record is abysmal, and for some reason they just can't play like a foxhole type mentality like they do on the road. They really band together on the road and upset a lot of good teams, and that's what's happened already this season. But I don't know how they're going to match up with the Oilers. The Oilers have had another dreadful start to their season. We all know they have goaltending issues, and they're really not going to win a cup with those 2 goaltenders that they have. Yeah, right on. Go Kings.
Go Kings. There we go. We got some fans in the building.
Fans. Yeah, where else can you find fans? But
besides Emmy Squared Pizza.
That's right.
Remember, if you like good pizza,
cold, by the way,
this
am I
is
allowed
the
to
place.
eat on the air or no? Yeah. Okay.
Oh man, I guess we should try this.
Yeah. Are we going to any breaks or anything, or we're just going? All right, I'm gonna peel this off right here. And,
all right, I'm gonna peel this off too. We'll see how this is.
Wow, that is old school Sicilian. Very good.
That is pretty good.
Thick, deep crust, Sicilian style. We're looking good here at Emmy Square Pizza.
Man, this is some good pizza.
$5 draft beers and happy hour. Did I mention that? I think I have.
What was it, 4:30 to 7? Yep. 4:30 to 7 every day. $5 happy hour, draft beer. Guys, this is the place.
That's right. Go Kings, go. Maybe we'll talk to one of these fans passing by. Ask them a few questions about what they think about the Kings this season. We can't do all the work. It'll give us time to eat.
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, there's no fans coming out right now. And as we've seen so far this season, the fans, they haven't been as loud as they could be. And do you think that's the play style of the Kings?
I think that the kind of team they have been at home has definitely reflected in the building. And when the Kings win, fans come out, and the Kings haven't been winning home. So the building has been a little undersold and a little cavernous, a little quiet. That's what happens when the team is not producing and not making a lot of exciting play for the fans to enjoy. So.
Yeah, as we even saw in the Blackhawks game, there were more Blackhawk fans than there were Kings. And Chicago fans, they do travel well, but it is just kind of a testament so far this season that the Kings, they haven't really gotten the crowd into the games. There isn't enough energy around, and they just haven't sparked life into LA.
Yeah, well, how do you spark life? You score goals and you win hockey games, and the Kings at home that's the common theme. They're struggling. Every game's a struggle. They don't come out in the first period strong. They get under 5 shots in the first period. That's not a good recipe for winning or even keeping your fans, engaged in the game.
And there's been a lot of talk on what direction the Kings should go. Some people say they should make a big move so they could be an actual contender. Others say that they should kind of blow it up and kind of start fresh, start a new future. Where's your head on that?
Well, I'm going to talk with food in my mouth. It's not like you can blow it up yet, because they do have these aging veterans in Kopitar and Doughty. Kopitar has announced his retirement at the end of the season, so we all know that this is Andrzej Kopitar's last run. So, and Drew Doughty is at the end of his long-term 8-year deal at the end of next season. So, with those two guys, you can't really blow up the team yet. We'll see what happens after Kopitar this summer, what they decide to do, because they could decide right then to do it, or they could try and reload, and they're going to have $7 million more under the cap to go after some players. It's just who's going to want to come here. That's really the issue, and who's available. Most of the great free agents have already signed deals, because that's the way they do it now. They're signing guys. The cap's expanding. Teams want to keep their own guys because there's not a lot out there to replace a really big. The Kings couldn't do that, right?
Exactly. And it's not like this roster doesn't have talent, because there are guys on this roster who really can step up. This is a deep team. As we saw last season against Edmonton, they were a deeper team than the Oilers. They really did have the better team. So there is talent on this roster. It's just not living up to its full potential.
No, the Kings have a great top 9, as they call it. The first 3 lines are stacked. They have guys who can do all sorts of things for a team to help them win, and they just have to play together, and they have to produce. The Kings are not producing.
Yeah, here's some fans coming. Can we get a Go Kings?
Go Kings. Right on.
Go Kings. There we go.
Look at you, cheerleader.
Exactly, man. We want to make sure Emmy Squared Pizza, they got all the Kings fans. Great place. And before a hockey game, you got to come here.
Mm-hmm.
How's that pizza tasting?
Fabulous.
10 out of 10. Let's see. Can we get a Go Kings?
Okay, there you go. All right.
There we go.
Oh, Marcel Dion jersey right there. Look at that. That's right. Thank you to our producer, Jeff Sims, right there, reminding us to what is Infinity TV good for. We're one of the only sources that's gonna play out the entire interviews of the players after the game, and the coach's interview, the press conference the coach gives after the game. A lot of networks, they just give you little clips, little snippets. No, we're gonna roll the entire press conference beginning to end, and that's where you get it. Vanity TV. Look it up on YouTube. Look it up on their website, vanitytv.com. All social media.
It's unscripted, locker room access, and it really does feel like you're in the locker room with the players with Infinity TV. This just promotes the players, it promotes the thoughts, and getting us to cover this, it really shows what the team's going through.
Yeah, you're going to get unfettered access to the Kings and all local sports teams in Los Angeles. You want to have Infinity TV locked in.
Can we get a Go Kings?
Okay, there you go.
Go Kings, go!
Go Kings. Okay, yeah. Well, we're getting set here. We have an early 6 p.m. start tonight for the Los Angeles Kings versus Chicago Blackhawks. plenty of time to get down here. And maybe if you're hungry, you don't have to eat inside the arena. You can come here to Emmy Square Pizza.
It's a better deal,
And,
better food,
yeah.
Emmy Squared Pizza.
And you can get what for $5 here at the
It's that draft beer happy hour.
Right. And we're going to keep pumping that, right? We're not going to drink it, but we're going to keep talking about it.
Exactly, of course. But we'll keep chowing on this pizza.
Yeah, we have
because it really is delicious.
We have to do some work after the game. So if we have a few happy hour beers, we might have a problem. Go Kings, go! You guys going to the game? Hey, you fans, you want to talk to us for a sec? You want to come talk?
All right, come.
All right. Okay. Wayne Gretzky never looked so good, right? Okay. Well, what else? We have some games coming up on the road. The Kings are going where? They'll be where Monday?
They're going to be in Utah Monday against a pretty quality Mammoth team.
Yeah.
They're again fighting for the playoff spots, just like the Kings.
Yeah, the old Arizona Phoenix Coyotes are now the Utah Mammoth. Their second year in Salt Lake City. The Mammoth are very on the up team. They're on the rise, as they say. And,
as we saw when they played Anaheim, they beat the Ducks 7-0 at their own place. So this team can get hot. So if the Kings, if they come out sluggish against the Mammoth, that's not going to look very good.
Dangerous.
That's a team you cannot come out slow.
If you're going to put a touchdown on the on what are the Anaheim Ducks lately, you definitely have to take notice, and that's a strong team. And plus they have someone like Sean Dursey, who the Kings traded away. I think he really gets up to play the Kings. So it's going to be a tough first roadie on Monday night in Salt Lake City.
And then after that, they go to Seattle, I believe, Wednesday against the Kraken. And similar to the Kings, the Kraken.
Yeah. Hey, we're live on TV here. But,
hey, man.
You are?
Yeah.
Hey, dude.
All right. It's big rock and roll.
I mean, he's someone who definitely wants a pizza.
You never know what you're going to find down here at Emmy Square Pizza here at the LA Live in downtown Los Angeles.
Yeah, it seems like everyone wants a slice of pizza.
Everyone. And just about everyone can have it, especially a happy hour beer for $5, right? It's you get happy hour draft beer, $5. Emmy Square Pizza.
Can we get a Go Kings?
Go Kings. There are Kings fans showing up here.
I'd like to talk about the Western Conference standings.
The Western Conference standings. Do you know those standings by heart?
I know the Pacific standings right now. I mean, right now they are at the third, as we previously mentioned. The Ducks, the Knights, they're ahead. And then it's tightly compacted. Got the Sharks, Oilers, Kraken, following them, that 3 to 6 range.
Oilers have gotten hot. They're right behind. They're just a couple points behind us, and the Kings could slip right out of the playoffs if they continue to lose. So the Kings really need the 2 points tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like the Kings themselves, they can't always rely on playing on the road or just always like playing when their back is against the walls.
Hey, nice jersey, buddy.
Because when you continuously play with your back against the walls, that puts a lot of pressure and there's very little room for error. So the Kings, they need to get out now. They need to start playing well so that they don't have so much pressure where one mistake, they're just going to mess up. They need a little more wiggle room, and they really need to separate themselves from the rest of the Pacific Division.
That's right. That's been a common question in the locker room. Like these games are coming down to 1 or 2 mistakes. They're so close that 1 or 2 mistakes cost you the hockey game, and the Kings really need to protect themselves from that kind of outcome every night. They need to really put the hammer down and try and step on some of these teams and show what they got, because they do have the potential to dominate the 60 minutes, but just by playing 60 minutes.
And as we've seen mentioned by Mikey Anderson, Warren Fogle, other players in the locker room, that the Kings, they really only play well when their back is against the wall or when they're trailing. They don't come out, they don't start playing well, they let the other team score, they get behind in the game, and then they have to try to make it up. That's the only time it seems like the Kings actually play well. And that's just not a recipe for success, especially in the playoffs.
No, if you're constantly chasing the game, it's not what they want to do. They're using energy that they're going to need in April, May, June if they want to go deep in the playoffs. And the kind of energy they're using now is the energy they're going to need. So you don't want to play like that at this time of year, or you're just going to be gassed.
How do you think the loss of Gavrikov has really affected the team so far this season?
Well, I think it's huge. As we know, like Gavrikov played with Anderson last year when Drew Doughty went down long term with his ankle injury, broke his ankle in training camp, and so Gavrikov got put on that first unit with Mikey Anderson, Drew Doughty's playing partner. He moved over to the right side, Gavrikov's natural left side defenseman, but he moved over to the right side, and what happened was Gavrikov and Anderson turned out to be the best defensive pairing in the league last year, and maybe the best defensive pairing the Kings statistically have ever had. But Drew Doughty came back. Drew Doughty got his top spot back in the minutes, got his partner back in Mikey Anderson. Gavrikov went down to those second line pairing, third or fourth defenseman. And we saw what happened in the first round of the playoffs. We saw who was on the ice when it happened and who wasn't on the ice when it happened.
And again, shortening the rotations also did not help in that series.
Right, so,
and that's the main reason why Gavrikov went to New York and joined the Rangers.
Gavrikov knew he was going to be a number one pairing defenseman on Broadway in Madison Square Garden with a few Russians that are his good friends. You got Arturi Panarin, you got Igor Shesterkin. These are guys that are really, he grew up with, and he wanted to go to New York. And who wouldn't want to play at Madison Square Garden on Broadway in New York City?
I mean, the Rangers, they're competing for their playoff lives, but I mean, that just kind of goes to show you what the Kings had. They kind of tried to fix something that wasn't really broken. Because if you asked a lot of the people in the media, they would have told you Gavrikov was actually the best defenseman for the Kings last season.
He was, and he was the best defenseman available at free agency. And the Kings definitely could have paid him what the Rangers ended up paying him. But I really think it came down to Gavrikov choosing to go and play in New York and not playing here. So.
And then they tried to replace him with Cody Ceci, Brian Dumoulin.
I can't even speak to that, yes, because we've seen the numbers on that pairing not really working out well. They wanted to beef up, get some more veteran experience. They let Jordan Spence go. Might have been a mistake because right now the only offensive threat for the Kings on defense is Brandt Clarke. And we all know Brandt Clarke is still developing into a NHL force, which he is projected to be, and looking like it's happening because he's made a lot of great plays. He's got some points, and he's even played the first line pairing with Drew Doughty having injury issues already this year.
I mean, Brandt Clarke, Joel Edmondson, those were the two guys supposed to take a bigger step once Gavry left. And tell me what you've seen from both of those guys so far.
Well, one thing when Joel Edmondson was signed as a free agent, he's basically another stay-at-home guy, not going to put up a lot of points. Big physical presence, which is good. The Kings have been lacking that in years past. But what we didn't know about Joel Edmondson, he's got a huge shot. Like, he has a 100-mile-an-hour slap shot. And he's actually scored on it already this year. So, I'm the crazy person with this power play who suggests why not put Joel Edmondson on the power play and tee up that shot, a la, Rob Blake back in the days where the power play was just get it to Rob Blake and have him fire it and break the glass because he would miss all the time. But if you're going to fire from the point, you want a 100-mile-an-hour shot.
I completely agree with that. I mean, Joel Edmondson, he has one of the biggest ranges on the entire team. So if Joel Edmondson, if he was on the power play, that could help a bottom three power play. Joel Edmondson, I mean, again, he has a rocket of a slap shot. You have Brandt Clarke, again, someone who can also shoot it as well. But again, it just hasn't necessarily been enough offense.
Yeah, the Kings have the strategy on the power play is obviously failing, and they're showing in the stats. They're to be in the bottom two or three.
They're bottom three, yes,
in the league in power play with the kind of talent that the Kings have. It's unfortunate, and it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed quick because the Kings go on the power play, and it's a momentum killer. They when they can't score on a power play, it takes the team down a notch, and the whole energy in the building goes down. And it's almost like you don't want to get a power play. It's
to the point where people hope that the Kings are actually shorthanded and that they have to go through a penalty kill instead of actually being on the power play.
Yeah,
but so far, even in the month of December, I mean, back in November, the Kings had the best penalty kill. But this December, it's fell back. And it just, again, if the penalty kill is getting worse, then that's going to that's really going to damage the Kings.
Yeah, you can't be a successful team in the NHL without strong special teams, and the Kings are slipping in both areas. They did have a penalty kill that they could depend on. They were, in fact, shorthanded goals, leading the league or near the top. But in the last few weeks, the penalty kill has really struggled, and now they're slipping into the 20s on that. So.
And they have one of the fewest shots on goal in the entire league. That their shooting percentage is actually one of the worst in the entire NHL. They just can't produce enough goals. They don't produce enough shots, and they just pass up on golden opportunities every single game.
Yeah, that's what everyone's talking about. These attempts and shots getting through to the net, because you can take all the shots you want, but if they don't hit the net or get through, it's not going to matter. So it's where they're taking the shots from. That's a big issue. That's how you change it up. You take shots from closer. The Kings really try to take shots as far as you can in the zone. It's not going to work.
I mean, I'd prefer if the Kings would just at least try to take as many shots as possible, even if it is from far. At least put pressure on the goaltender. But the Kings, they just don't do that. Quentin Byfield, he has great playmaking ability, but he holds on to the puck way too long. It misses golden opportunities. He misses passes, and it just isn't enough. And it's not just Byfield. It's the entire team. They hold on to the puck way too long. They don't pass it enough. And don't even get me started on how the Kings play against the forecheck. They cannot get the puck out of their own D zone.
Oh, tell me how you really feel, Holden. There's been an issue with especially at home. The Kings really try to play neat, cute, and try to get the extra pass and pass up a real golden opportunity to just take the puck to the net, and that is really costing them. Every time they do it, you can feel everyone in the building go, "Why didn't you shoot there? Why aren't we shooting?" In fact, there should be a rule on the power play where they win the faceoff. There should be a shot at the net within a few seconds, and that is a great way to maybe get a rebound. Goals do come off rebounds, especially on power play, because there's a guy.
You have an extra man.
There's
exactly.
a guy uncovered, and if he can pick up that rebound, probably got a good look at net. And the only way you get a rebound is from a shot.
But whether it's in the O zone or even the D zone, the Kings, they just don't move the puck north, especially in their own D zone. They let the defense set up. They let the other team have their forecheck, and then they try to push the puck back. They try to move it south. When you're going up against a forecheck, you need to break the press immediately. You need to push it north. You need to make the quick pass, and you just need to get out and put pressure on the defense. But the Kings, they let the defense set up. And again, they have so many giveaways in their own D zone where it gives the other teams a lot of shots. And as we've seen, it relies on Kemper to make a lot of saves.
Yeah, it puts a lot of pressure. I mean, if there's one thing we know, Darcy Kemper is involved in every game, in every minute of every game, because he's facing pressure for most of the time that the play is going. There's going to be a lot of action in front of him. He's definitely hasn't been sitting there waiting for the play to come to him. It's coming, and the Kings are giving up those opportunities, and he's held strong, and they need to really give him some support and help out their goaltender, especially the other night. How many times have you heard Jim Fox say on the broadcast, "Remember that save if the Kings come back and win this game," because a big save can really keep the team in it, and then the Kings could score or tie it or go ahead, and you will remember that big save. Well, the Kings had 5 saves the other night like that from Darcy Kemper. 5 of them where it was guaranteed that a Blackhawk was going to score and really put the game away, and he kept them in it, and they still couldn't make it happen for a victory the other night. We'll see what happens here tonight. They get to face the Blackhawks again in a rare back-to-back here at Crypto.com Arena, and hopefully the Kings can really get those 2 points tonight. They're going to need them.
In this game, the Kings, they need to have more rush chances. They can't be playing slow. Against a team like Chicago, they have solid goaltending, so you need to put pressure on them. You can't let Connor Bedard, you can't let Bertuzzi, you can't let these guys just get out and get as many shots as possible. You have to put pressure on that defense. You got to play fast. You got to come out strong and make sure that these guys are worn down. Right. Or else Tyler Bertuzzi or Connor Bedard, these guys, they're just going to work that defense.
You almost have to play their style of game to the Blackhawks don't have a structurally sound defense that a lot of people are talking about. You have to exploit those weaknesses, take the play to them and try to create your chances down low in front of the net in the dirty areas. I've said it before. The Kings need to go to the crease. They want to score. They shoot from way out too far, too much. They're not having success doing that. So
especially against a good goaltender like Spencer Knight. He's been really good this year, and this is actually his first chance he's actually got to be the starting goaltender. And as we've seen so far with the Blackhawks, Knight has been really good. And against a good goaltender, you got to have rebounds. You got to have close shots. You can't just rely on a bunch of far shots. You can't rely on set plays. You got to put pressure. You got to have tempo. And you got to really just move the puck.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Kings need to shoot more. They need to take the puck to the net and put pressure on Spencer Knight and make him make the save. And the only way they're going to do that is to not be a one-and-done team, which the Kings have been all season long. Work hard, get it in, take it to the net, get those chances, and have someone like Corey Perry or Joel Armia, guys who are set up in front of the net for their careers, clean up the garbage, pick up the garbage, make things happen, bury loose pucks. And those are the kind of goals that are going to help the Kings win hockey games. Not pretty, nice plays, beautiful passing. No, take the puck to the net and kick it in if you can.
Remember, if you like pizza, Emmy Squared Pizza, best place in LA.
That's right.
Every Kings fan comes here.
That's right, because they come here because they're on the way to the hockey game, because Emmy Squared Pizza is in LA Live, just across the street from Crypto.com Arena, which is behind the camera. I'm looking at it right now. Are you chewing?
I am.
Okay.
While
he's chewing, I'll remind you that the Emmy Squared Pizza has a happy hour special, $5 draft beers from 4 p.m. to 7:30.
Man, if I wasn't working, I'd be all over that deal.
That's right.
4:30 to 7.
You're old enough to drink, right?
Yeah, I'm 23.
Okay, cool. Just checking. I'm old enough to be his father. You wouldn't know it, but it's true.
And how do you think this game could be a stepping stone for LA in this season?
I think any win, 2 points, especially if it's impressive, will help this team a lot. They need an impressive, win where they win handily. That's something we've said. The Kings haven't really had one of those. They've had some on the road. That Montreal game where they won 5-0 or 5-1. That was a great game. The Kings were in charge of that game the whole time. They played Winnipeg here about a month ago. Got their first win of the season.
Convincingly at home
with 3-0 win against a really strong Western Conference team like the Winnipeg Jets. So there's been a couple of those games, but literally a couple. And they need more games where they're winning handily, not these one-goal games where one or two mistakes cost you the hockey game. You can't play like that.
And that comes to consistency. We haven't seen that many consistent 60 minutes from this Kings team.
No. In fact, we've seen anything but. And a full 60 is something the Kings always talk about. And when they do win, it's because they played a full 60. And when they have problems, it's because they're taking a period off here, taking a period off there, and not closing the deal.
So we really need to see what the Kings can do against the powerhouses at home. As we saw week opening game, they got blown out by Colorado. And then against let's get a go Kings.
Yeah,
Can we get a go Kings?
You guys ready? Right on.
There we go. Kings fans showing support.
Everyone's showing up. Everyone found parking. I'm sure $30 parking, but it's parking.
Can we get a go Kings?
Jeff's parking, by the way. It's Jeff's car's right there.
Go Kings, go!
In the red zone there. Go Kings, go.
There we go.
Right on.
Go Kings, ready? Go!
You guys ready? All right. Yeah, come on.
Come to Emmy Squared Pizza. Best place for Kings fans.
Yeah. Or Blackhawks fans. They eat too, right?
Hockey fans in general.
They all got to eat.
Everyone wears shoes.
Right on. Blackhawks in town. By the way, the Blackhawks have one of the top young players in the whole world right now.
Connor Bedard.
Yeah. Tell us about Connor. I'm going to take a bite, so you go ahead.
Connor Bedard, before he even stepped foot on an ice, everyone was comparing him to Wayne Gretzky. Everyone thought he'd be one of the best NHL players And this isn't even a 21-year-old kid. So he's not even old enough to drink. And he was getting compared to Wayne Gretzky, who most people would say is the best hockey player of all time. Connor Bedard, he has over 50 points. He's been the engine for the Blackhawks. And along with Macklin Celebrini, I mean, these two young studs, especially Connor Bedard, has really taken over the league. And he's lived up to expectations. I mean, he's one of the most talented players we've seen in a while.
You're absolutely right. Give me 1 second.
I mean, a lot of people could even compare him to the greats like Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby. I mean, Connor Bedard has that potential, and he's coming in tonight. And we even saw last game he had a very important power play goal, got them that 1-0 lead. And now, again, people come in to this Kings game ready to see Connor Bedard. They're ready to see a superstar take action.
The term is generational player. And when Connor Bedard was in the draft 2.5 years ago, everybody knew that this was a generational player. He's a smaller guy, but his skill set is as good as it gets. And what's underrated is his shot. He gets the puck away as fast as anyone, and it's very accurate. And he scores a lot of goals from a lot of different parts of the ice. We saw it the other night firsthand. First time I've seen him live and in person, and very impressive young player. Probably going to be the captain of the team next year, and the future looks good in Chicago for sure.
I mean, a lot of people compare Connor Bedard's speed to Connor McDavid.
Yeah, well, there's some very fast young players in the league. Of course, they have the youth, and that helps too. But yeah, Connor Bedard has all the tools you need to be a really elite player in the NHL.
And the Blackhawks, they're not just one guy. We got to talk about Tyler Bertuzzi. He's also been really good for Chicago. We saw he had an assist on that power play. He's also been a really good second star for Bedard.
Yeah, and Bertuzzi plays with an edge, like the Bertuzzi name. He comes from a family of I don't know. Is he related to Todd Bertuzzi?
We got to check that.
Yeah, check it. Check for me. Bertuzzi is related to Todd Bertuzzi, am I right?
How do you spell it?
B-E-R-T, Bertuzzi, B-E-R-T-U-Z-Z-I.
Tyler Bertuzzi related to
Todd. Yeah. Is that his dad or his uncle?
the hockey player Todd Bertuzzi and Tyler Bertuzzi are uncle and nephew.
There we go. See?
They didn't hear me, so you tell them.
Yeah, they didn't hear it because Jeff doesn't have a mic. He should in future broadcasts. You should have a little headset there. Yes, but yeah, Tyler Bertuzzi is the nephew of the great Todd Bertuzzi of the Vancouver Canucks fame. So, yeah, Tyler Bertuzzi is a physical presence, and he's a skill player too. We've seen a few shootout moves from that guy. The upside. In the long-term view for the Chicago Blackhawks looks really good. Back in the middle teens, when the Kings and the Blackhawks were trading Stanley Cups every year, we haven't had that kind of team, especially with the Blackhawks since then. And now they're looking like their rebuild is really taking effect.
And another potential dynasty. 3 cups, 6 years.
Yeah, you keep adding really good players young, and you keep them together, and you have good coaching. That's how you win in the NHL. But it's called a rebuild for a reason, because they're building towards something, and the teams that do the rebuild the right way are the teams that are going to be dominant in a few years, and that's what we're seeing with Chicago and with Anaheim and with San Jose. These teams are all.
Man, don't even get me started on the San Jose Sharks. You got a lot of young talent. Macklin Celebrini, James Eklund, Will Smith. There's just so many young guns on that team.
Yeah, it's frightening, because as a Kings fan, you're like, where's our young guys coming from? Because we're not seeing a lot of young players come up with the Kings with these kind of skills that these other teams in California have. They have these really, really skilled young guys, and they've already arrived, and the Kings are looking in the rearview mirror or ahead of them now with Anaheim, and it's gonna be a rough go if the Kings can't compete with that.
I mean, one of the biggest promises the Kings had early on was Alex Laferriere. A lot of people thought he would be the future for the Kings, but he hasn't necessarily looked like superstar. He hasn't really looked like too much of a game changer. Again, quality player. Don't get me wrong, Alex Laferriere, he has some game. But do you think he's the answer long-term in the future?
Well, it's like, how are they going to use him? I mean, the Kings recently, they've been moving him to center. And we've never seen Alex Laferriere as a pro in the middle of the ice. But, Jim Hiller wants to use him there. I think my theory is he's a right-handed shot, and the Kings are all left-handed, 1 through 4 in their centers. So they want to move a guy in with the right-handed, able to take right-handed face-offs. And, let's face it, all these players, just like every baseball player that's a great player, all came up playing shortstop, right? Well, all these hockey players, they all came up playing center. They were the best on their team. So it's not like they don't know how to play the position. So someone like Alex Laferriere he's got skill, he's got grit. He's the kind of player the Kings really need because he plays in those hard areas. He scores a lot of goals from around the net. He's a really excellent tipper of the puck on shots. So,
Laferriere, he should be playing close to the net.
Yes, and he doesn't even need to be a playmaker. He just needs to be
a goal scorer, like a Kevin Fiala role.
Yeah.
I think that would be best for Laferriere, but he's not necessarily used in that way. I think Hiller is trying to use Laferriere more as a playmaker, and not that he doesn't have playmaking ability, but Laferriere is a better goal scorer than he is passing.
Yeah, he needs to be in a position to finish, and that is around the net.
And but what about okay?
Oh, there you go, Chicago fans.
Get yourself a Kings jersey.
No, it's fine. Yeah, you got the Bedard jersey. It's okay. Yeah.
Hockey fans eating pizza. We got more people coming in.
That's right. Oh, there's the Blackhawks.
Can we get a go, Kings? Go!
Here we go, Kings, go. Right on.
There we go.
Everyone's down here.
And everyone's coming in to get some Emmy squared pizza.
That's right.
There's still time. Come get your pizza before the game.
That's right. It's still a long time in happy hour. What happens in happy hour here at Emmy Square Pizza?
I believe it's only $5, 4:30 to 7.
For what?
Draft beer.
Draft beer.
Beer.
A $5 draft beer, folks. From Santa Monica Brewers.
Oh, man, I've heard a lot of things about that place.
Yes. I've been there.
I've heard it's really good.
I don't remember being there, but I've been there. That's
the one thing we can't try.
That's another story. For another time.
Yeah, but
so what else?
The Kings so far, we got to look at the trajectory. Where do you think this team's going? Do you think they're going to eventually compete? Do you think they're going to kind of dwindle towards the bottom of the standings? How do you like the Kings?
Well, like the Kings have been over the last few seasons, you never know what you're going to get. And it's like, I've referred to it as the Kings are like a box of chocolates. The old, Forrest Gump saying, you never know what you're going to get night to night. Are the Kings going to come out really strong tonight, put up a really good fight, or are they going to play soft, not shoot the puck, get in a hole, chase the game, lose the game? Or, what have we seen a lot of? They have their goalie pulled late in the game, trying to get that equalizer. You can't play like that and expect to be a top team in the NHL. You got to put teams away. You got to do it early. You got to hold leads. I haven't seen it yet. It's why every Kings fan is nervous. It's why a lot of people, in the media around the Kings are wondering what's going to happen. They really need to start taking over and dictating the action and not responding to it. And that's how the Kings are playing it. And it starts in the room. It starts with the coaching. It starts with the leadership on the team. The players need to be ready from the drop of the puck to start playing hard and not be reminded that, we're in a hockey game. I think we should start playing hard. No. As soon as you walk out of that tunnel, you better be ready to go.
But when we are in the locker room, it's always the same kind of questions. Oh, why do the Kings? Why did you guys start off slow? Why isn't the power play working? And it's just bringing up the same reruns. It's bringing up the same questions of when are the Kings going to change it? When are they going to fix this solution? Because every single home game, it's always they have a rough first period. They don't execute on the power play. The other team just has a lot more rush chances. They have more speed than them. And it doesn't change every single time. It just does not change.
With that, let's go with your game predictions and then pick your player of the game that you would expect
Okay. Well, our producer reminded us to make our predictions and also predict who's going to score tonight, especially the first goal of the game. First goal of the game. Who do you think is going to score the first goal of the game tonight?
First goal of the game, I think the Kings. I think they're really going to try to come out. They just lost to them 2 days ago. I think Quentin Byfield, I think he's going to set up Kevin Fiala. Fiala's going to get the first goal. And then the Kings will at least show some life on offense.
Kevin Fiala, by the way. That's the jersey I'm wearing tonight. I think the first goal tonight is going to come from Warren Fogle. And I'll tell you why. Warren Fogle was the key to this team last year. He stirred the drink. However Warren Fogle went, if he had a point in a game last year, I think we won like 95% of all those games. So Warren Fogle is a very important player. I hope he gets more ice time. But by the way, he's clocked as the second fastest guy on the team. Who would know that? But I do, because I look at those stats. But yeah, Warren Fogle for me is going to score the first goal tonight. Look for a greasy goal from Warren Fogle.
The real question is, what do you think the final score will be?
Oh, well, I already know because I am a psychic. The final score tonight is going to be 4-1 Los Angeles Kings.
Really? You think the Kings are going to come out guns blazing, get the win?
I think they have to. They have to. We're at the point where tonight the Kings are going on the road. They need to play well at home. It starts tonight. We're going to get I think we're going to get a decisive win tonight.
Even though the Kings have struggled at home, I think this is a game they know their back is against the wall. They have to play on their toes. They just lost to the Blackhawks. So I think you are right. The Kings, they're going to come out. They're going to play with a little bit of fire in that chest. They're really going to come out, really play more physical. But I do think it's going to be a very tight game. I have the Kings winning in not a shootout, overtime. They don't do well in shootouts. I think Kings win in overtime 3-2.
3-2 in overtime. Well, I mean, that's a good bet because the Kings have gone to the extra session more than any other team in the league this year, and that's a good call. I should have said that, but I didn't. I said 4-1, and I would never say the Kings are going to lose because we're optimistic here at Infinity TV for our local teams, right?
Of course, Infinity. We always support all of our local teams. We support the Kings, Lakers, Sparks, and right now, all of these hockey fans, they want to see the Kings do well at crypto.
Right. And by the way, if you like the players on your favorite Los Angeles teams, you want to see those interviews, the full length post game interviews. Infinity TV is the only place to get that. You get a full length interview from the locker room, uncut, uncensored. And we also get that from the coach's press conference after the game, too. You want to hear everything the coach has to say, and you get that at Infinity TV.
Another question, what do you think about the playoff format? I know there's a lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it. I personally am not a fan of the playoff format. I think it builds up the same series. There's always manufactured rivalries.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're a Los Angeles Kings fan, you probably don't want to play the Edmonton Oilers again, right, in the first round. Because the last 4 years in a row, the Kings have drawn the Edmonton Oilers in that 2-3 series in the Pacific, and they have not fared well, losing all 4 in a row to the Oilers. But, the Oilers, give it credit, gone on the last 2 years to the Stanley Cup final, only to lose to the Florida Panthers. But
at that point, it's not even a rivalry. It's just a hammer and a nail.
Basically, the Kings probably want to have a different first-round opponent this year. Only because the storyline doesn't look good, and you don't want to lose again to the Oilers. So you'd rather take on a team, I think the Ducks and the Kings first round series would be amazing and be good for Los Angeles and Southern California.
I think that is a realistic matchup the Kings could win. Again, the Ducks, they do have firepower. They have Cutter Gauthier, Leo Carlson, Troy Terry. They have a lot of guys that can really score. But
and I mean, look, the Anaheim Ducks have been a wagon so far this year, but the Kings through 2.5 periods a couple weeks ago, they took it to them, and they were leading that game, 4-2, I believe.
They were,
and
they let up.
They let up, and they took the pedal off the gas, or the gas off the pedal, or whatever. And the Kings lost that game in overtime, and they should have should have walked away with 2 points that day, and send a message to the Anaheim Ducks that the LA Kings still rule Southern California in the freeway faceoff, but the Ducks are a very strong team. They're leading the Pacific at this current juncture, and they're doing it with young players and a very exciting style. And they have Coach Quenneville, who used to coach the Blackhawks to their championships. And it's a very scary team. And no one even really thought maybe that the Ducks would be involved in the playoff picture this year or so soon.
They did have a strong finish to the second half of the season last year.
Yeah.
So there was some speculation that the Ducks, they could maybe make the playoffs, but nobody thought they'd be leading the Pacific by now.
No
The
way.
Ducks, they do have the weakness of they're not that good of a defensive team. The goaltending's pretty pedestrian. So if the Kings, if they do pick up the offense, that could be a series that could favor LA.
Don't you love those little mini bikes? Yeah. The emissions on those things are really high too. I don't know if you've ever been behind one of those packs. The air quality is not very good. Anyway,
I would have guessed.
sorry, what we were talking about the Ducks, right?
Yeah, we're talking about in a hypothetical series how the Ducks would match up against the Kings. I'm thinking that the Ducks, they do have an explosive offense. They could give the Kings trouble, and if they do not show up the way that they're supposed to on offense, it could be a routing. But the Kings, they have shown to be a good defensive team. Darcy Kemper is the anchor, and the Ducks don't really have that much playoff experience. So in a series, the Kings, they could possibly have the edge, but we are so far from playoffs where we're not even sure if the Kings will actually get in that top 4 of the Pacific.
Yeah, well, they need to be in the top 3 because the Central Division looks like they're going to take maybe the strength in the Central
It's a lot stronger than the Pacific.
Will produce the 2 wild cards as Central Division teams if things keep playing out the way they are. So the Kings might be on the outside looking in. Patrick Kane looks different. Just kidding. That wasn't Patrick Kane. What were we talking? We're talking about the Ducks. Here's why I think the Ducks would be a good matchup for the Kings. The Kings rise to that occasion, and they have for over a decade now. The Kings really play well against the Ducks. They know that it's a rivalry, and it's like one of the only rivalries that they have where they really step up every time they play them and take it to them. It's like the Oilers are kind of their daddy, and that needs to change. It needs to change immediately. So if the Kings want to come into a possible playoff matchup against the Oilers with the upper hand.
I mean, one team I don't think the Kings match up well in a series are the Vegas Golden Knights. As we've seen, that team is very talented offensively. They're very explosive. And the goaltending, Dayton Hill, that could be a real problem for LA.
Absolutely. The Golden Knights have been, the top of the league since they came into the league, which is amazing for an expansion team. But they did, in the draft, the expansion draft, they were able to take a top 6 player from every team, which means you have basically your whole top 12 forwards are all second line players. Now, would you rather have all second line players throughout your lineup, or fourth line players and third line players? The Golden Knights did so well right out of the box.
They built themselves to be a contender, and in their first year, they made it all the way to the Stanley Cup. They eventually lost to the Capitals 4-1, but still, first season as an expansion to get to the Stanley Cup, very impressive. And ever since, Vegas has kind of been the villains of the NHL, where if you're not a Knights fan, everyone hates that team.
Yeah, well, they hate a team that just comes on the scene, brand new and just, starts winning and makes you look bad. And for that, like, everyone was thinking like, what the fix is in maybe, but the Golden Knights are shrewd, and they're not loyal to any player. Like they'll trade a player who was really good for them. As we saw, they let Marchessault go to free agency when he was just the Conn Smythe when they won the Stanley Cup in 2023. So no one's safe on that team. Maybe that's makes them play a lot better, because they know if they want to stay in that market, they better keep going.
We're going to play a little game. We're going to see which teams are the Kings better than in the Central. So I'm going to name some teams. Tell me if you think the Kings are better or not. Avalanche.
not.
Let me hear why.
Why? Well, the Avalanche have Nathan McKinnon, they have Cale Makar, and the Kings don't have anyone comparable on either end of their lineup to those two players, and there's really no other team that has a 1-2 punch of top line centerman, top defenseman. The Avalanche are stacked when it comes to that.
And again, Wedgwood has also been a really good goaltender. You have Brock Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
You have Martin Hs. You have a lot of guys that can just give you something.
They're scoring and they're dominating. And the Avalanche, most likely the Stanley Cup favorite for this year. And
President's curse, though. We got to remember that.
Right. And there's a curse that comes with that. So you don't want to be the President's Cup champion if you want to win the Stanley Cup, statistically.
Next team, Dallas.
Dallas is the second most dangerous team in the Western Conference. And
I'd say in the entire league, I think the Stars are the second best team.
Right. And they took out the Colorado Avalanche last season in the first round. And then everyone was saying, wow, here. You remember your point about what do you think of the playoff format? Well, it produced a first-round series of the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars. And both of those teams could have won the Stanley Cup last year. And
if the Stars had a better coach, they could have maybe done it.
Well, who knows? That coach might be coaching the Kings next week. So I wouldn't say that, but that's another story. But yeah, Dallas has a very strong, formidable team. Jim Nill, their general manager, has them ready and constantly reloading and having them always in the conversation of coming out of the West in the NHL.
And again, you have a full season of Mikko Rantanen. You pair him up with Jason Robertson, Wyatt Johnston. You have Heiskanen. And then you bring in their goaltender, who usually is good, Jake Ottinger.
Yeah.
So again, man, that Dallas team, if they get rolling, the Stars, they could finally do it.
They could, and they'll probably have a chance to get out of that first round if they're not facing the first overall team, which is the Colorado Avalanche. So depending on who they draw, it might be Winnipeg. Who knows? It could be the Blackhawks or the Minnesota Wild, who have the top goalie in the league right now. So
better team than the Wild?
No, I wouldn't say that, because they're not, right now the Kings aren't better than a lot of teams in the Central. They're not proving themselves to me, and they really need to have a resurgence in their style and their play and their compete level. I think it comes down to compete. I remember that word was huge back in the day when the Kings won the Stanley Cup or Stanley Cup.
Here's more Kings fans. Can we get a Go Kings Go?
Go Kings Go!
Go Kings Go!
Yeah. Two Kopitar jerseys there.
Our next tailgate party will be Saturday, December 27th versus the Anaheim Ducks.
Oh, speaking of the Anaheim Ducks, they'll be here on Saturday, December 27th here at Crypto, and we'll be having another tailgate party here. We're kind of like men on the street here, would you say? Holden?
Emmy Squared Pizza.
Emmy
Again,
Squared.
best pizza LA.
Best pizza, especially down here at LA Live. And especially why? Because of those $5 draft beers and happy hour. You can't beat $5 draft beer.
Before you watch the freeway face-off, get some good pizza.
That's right. Saturday, December 27th. Oh, the Kings, by the way, it's Saturday. That means they're going to be wearing their third jerseys tonight with the crown on them. What do you think of those jerseys?
Man, I really like them. They're a much better upgrade than just the LA.
Yeah, I hope they don't.
It's so bland.
They don't wear the silver helmets though with the black uniform.
I wouldn't mind gray helmets. I think silver is just a little. I think silver's a little too much.
Yeah, I think silver or gray with the black uniforms wasn't working.
I think basic gray. I think
they did that opening night. It was not a good look. They haven't gone back to it. They've switched to the black helmets with the black jerseys, the third jerseys. They are using the silver gray helmets on the road with the white. I think that's going to stick.
I think that looks a lot better.
Yeah.
But we got to catch this game. So thank you for joining us at a tailgate party. I'm Holden Douglas with Infinity TV.
That's right. Join us later tonight after the game, where we'll bring you full-length interviews with two players after the game and the full-length coaches press conference after the game. Hopefully, it will be a positive experience as the Kings take on the Chicago Blackhawks here, Crypto.com Arena, LA Live. Emmy Squared Pizza. Thank you for having us. Holden,
See you at the game, Kings fans.
Jesus.